What it do, my streaming crew? Artapilo here. You know, my name's right there at the bottom, right here. Just want to say welcome. I know I said noonish, a little bit late-ish, but you know what? I'm here with you guys today. It is a Thursday. So, welcome to Random Doodles and How-Tos episode 4. It is the 28th of June, 2018. If you can hear the music playing, that is coming through Spotify. It's an NCS, no copyright sound. I'll post the link later once I'm done with all this. But it's another episode of Random Doodles and How-Tos. Except today, after going through the Instagram stream and seeing what the other artists were up to today, I figured practice makes better. I was going to actually try to replicate, in a sense, one of my favorite artists' piece of artwork. We lost him not too long ago this week to cancer. So I figured I'd try to give one of his characters, one of his covers, a shot in my style and bring you guys through the process and have you guys tag along and check it all out. And I'm going to split my screen so you can actually see what I'm working on. Why did my... Oops. Clear. So you can see the reference into what I'm going to be working on the screen. It should be pretty cool. I haven't been done one of these in a while. Probably since art school. I haven't tried imitating him since probably art school. But Michael Turner was a big influence on me when I was in art school. Him and J. Scott Campbell. And, you got Jim Lee and all them as well. But for them, the way they did things is just, I don't know, I just fell in love with their style. So, like I said, I was going to try to replicate one of their pieces. One of his covers and see if it works out. It might turn out amazing. It might turn out okay. You might be going, what the hell, dude? Why are you doing that? And you know what? It is what it is. So let me swipe up, get my interwebs. Drag it over here to the side. So I was going to take this cover and try to replicate it myself in my own style. But take you guys through the process of it, the how-tos, how you figure everything out as we're looking at everything. How to put the piece together, everything connects, the building process. So hopefully you guys are with me, you're enjoying this, you're seeing what's going on, and all that good stuff. I have the chat open, so if you guys have any questions, feel free to drop it in the chat, let me know what's going on. If you are streaming me on YouTube, make sure you subscribe, like, turn on those notifications, you tell a friend what's popping. But if you're on Periscope, welcome. Hi. How's it going? I can't really see that one on my screen right now because it's Periscope. It's different. But I can actually see what's popping off with my YouTube and my Twitch streams right now. So, like I said, if you're here with me, jump in, drop it. Let's chop it up. Talk to me. Let's, toss it back and forth and see what's going on because I'm all the way live. Live. So, like I was saying, I was going to tackle the idea of trying to replicate this drawing done by one of my favorite comic book artists, Michael Turner. Like I said, we lost him a few years ago this week to that darn thing called cancer. And like I said, he was one of my favorite artists. So my pencil's already set to blue like I've done in the past episodes. I love drawing in blue, and then I come back in and lower the opacity and ink over that and apply colors. I have my fat pencil set up. If you're wondering how you do this, there's a great tutorial by Mike Henry on YouTube. He walks you through his process on how to set up the fat pencil and how he uses it. It's a pretty cool little tool. Not only do I just draw with it, but I even try rendering now because it has texture to it. So we look at our reference on the left, and now we gotta lay this all out right. How does this happen? How does one put it together? I'll admit, sometimes I mess up even when I'm doing things and I'm laying it out, and then I got to shrink things and adjust. But that's the cool part about being digital and working in Procreate is that we can actually do this. So, place everything out. We got to find our line of action. So let me drop in kind of like the idea where the face is going to be. And roughly, I'll come back in and detail it more. And again, I'm going to try to do this in my style and not imitate Michael's so much. I love his work, but I want to do it my way. Gotta find my line of action. So we got kind of this movement in the body. Build it back up. If you caught the rebroadcast of my last episode, or my last episodes, I break it down how this all works out. It all connects into each other. Everything when we're doing anything in, I like to think in the drawing sense is, it's all our generic shapes that we put together and make something out of nothing. As I'm doing right here, right now. So, I was always told the rib cage part of the body is like an egg. It's kind of egg shaped. Turn down the volume a little bit on the background music. It's kind of egg shaped. Make it go with the flow. And there's a little squash and stretch going on here. We've got our, I always like to think of the shoulders as kind of this triangular area that kind of meets up at the collarbone area, the little pit we have right here. And then we start to add in the shapes. Like I said, again, it's like these basic shapes that we put together to create this. And I can already tell, like, mine's slightly different than Michael's. Michael's is pushed back more. So his shoulder actually comes way out here and then goes this way. So you have more of a forced perspective. It's more pushed, like so. So I can pull this up more, which means the gravity in this all would be pulling up the breast into here, because the breast muscle, the chest muscle right here, goes up into this part of the arm and connects. So it comes, if you raise that arm up, you'll realize your chest comes up with you. So it's not like these guys are just down here the whole time. They connect to this part of the body. And it creates a whole different shape, which means ideally I'd be going this way more and like this. So if I'm trying to be to the T and replicate his exact pose. But then again, the shapes, they all connect. We got the cylinder right here that tapers down. The arm tapers into where the elbow socket and all that stuff would be, all the good stuff. Which then, if I come back with my eraser, increase it, but I'm gonna lower the opacity a little bit. Just fade out some of these parts a little bit. Because I don't want to clear out, completely wipe it out, but, let's see. So this arm is kind of going down this way. So ideally, even when I, even if you'll notice other artists, they'll like just sketch out, well, here's my stick figure, here's my line for the body. Got something like this, something like this. Usually, if the shoulders are like this, the hips go the opposite way. So vice versa, shoulders this way, hips that way. Now it looks like I'm writing in a foreign language, but kind of that's the idea. You can do that on another episode. Like I said, if you're joining me, you're live with me right now, drop in the chat, let me know, chop it up with me, because I have the chats open so I can see what's going on if you guys have any questions. And we can talk. Whether you want to keep talking about this art stuff, you have something else you want to talk about, you want to ask me about the playlist that I'm listening to on Spotify, you know, holler at your boy. So, get that. So, we go a little something like this. You guys ever notice Michael Turner's pencils? They're pretty insane. I did a contest long time ago that they held, so that you can get the chance to kind of get into the studio and work with them. It's kind of cool because it was the first time like I was actually doing anything like comic booky, because my background's in animation. But that's not gonna work. I took on the challenge. I colored some of his pieces. Did the whole thing in Photoshop before Photoshop was super fancy, and that was fun. It was fun to give it that challenge and try things I've never tried before with the software. So that was pretty cool to give it a try. Never heard back, but it was a good portfolio piece. and I had an idea what to do with it digitally. So I guess you could say that was my first attempt of doing something in that realm, digitally at least. It's a crazy twist to the body. So again, like I said, it's all shapes. They all come in and connect. They overlap, they connect. I think I said last time it's like Legos. They just all kind of, in a sense, snap into each other. You know, I'm missing a finger. But they all connect. Everything connects. Everything interacts with each other and gets in there, gets stuck in there like swimwear. So hopefully you guys get the idea. I know it's looking kind of messy. I'm gonna, I guess, apologize for that. But you know what? It's all part of the process. Getting everything in place the way we want it. But it's all part of the process. Because like I said, ideally I can go back into my layers right here, hit this end, drop it down, add another layer, and come in and clean it up some more. Fine tune it. But I'm still, like I said, I'm still trying to rough it out. Can I get it close to theirs or his? Like I could tell you right now, it almost looks like my arm right here. If it lets me move it, it should go down here somewhere. Now check that. The other thing I like to do, I don't know if you guys know this, I actually learned this from an art buddy at the Art Institute of mine. He flips the canvas back and forth to see if everything's matching up proportionately, if it makes sense, if it's balanced. You can find him on Instagram too. His name is Patrick Ballesteros. The dude's amazing. So I sometimes go in here and I flip it just to make sure it looks right, and then I attack it from this angle to make sure everything kind of matches up and it looks correctly. Make sure the gravity is working where it's supposed to be working, and so on and so forth. Try the other shapes, because again, like I said, this is all shapes that intertwine. If you've ever like seen J. Scott Campbell's stuff, it's like rib cage, and then you got this sphere for the waist, and then you got kind of like this shape. If you buy his old school Danger Girl sketchbook, he breaks it all down. Then you got your legs. So similar, but you know, different at the same time. Clear. So like I said earlier, you know, if you're on with me, you're enjoying what we're doing so far, just chop it up, drop it to the chat. You know, drop a few words, but hey, dude, how'd you do that? Or what's going on? What's that playlist you're listening to? You know, I'm here to be completely interactive with you guys. Use my teaching abilities and, you know, teach with this little random doodles and how-tos. So, back to the face. It's already like bugging me because I can see uneven pieces. This leg gets lost and this leg comes over the top, kind of weird. Let's flip it back. So yeah, the back leg gets lost in the... This leg goes back. This leg comes out this way. And again, seriously, these guys, if I take it sideways, they're just cylinders. Those general shapes I keep talking about in all my streams. So let me see, let's add up a new one. Let's drop this one down. For the sake of the demo, let's go to the black. So like so. Because you gotta remember, this arm's going pulled back this way. So that means this area right here is gonna go with it. Remember, we got our lines of action. Bam. And you guys notice the hips, like I mentioned before, always go opposite of the shoulders up top. Bam. Zoom in for the sake of, let's add some detail. Because ideally this is going to end up in here somewhere because of the collarbone. And this will attach right here. And again, like I said, everything attaches. In its own way, it all comes together. And the pectoral muscles always go into here, which you can kind of see it if you look at the drawing on the left by Michael Turner. It has that, like it's giving off that sense. Again, there's two reasons why I chose to do this. One, we lost Michael Turner this week, and he was one of my favorites. Two, I feel like I've been slacking on my anatomy, especially the female one, and I had to come back and start practicing that some more. And I got to tackle the male anatomy again and work on that because practice makes better. It's always my favorite classroom quote. Had students that hated that quote. Like, that's not true, practice doesn't make better. But again, like I said, if you guys have any questions, the chat's open. Holler back. Turn on the notifications for next Tuesday's stream, because the goal is to try to do this every Tuesday and Thursday. So again, hopefully you guys are seeing how I put this together and how everything builds in and attaches to itself. Just like, you know, knowing the muscles and everything, it adds in and you can see the connection. Actually, I might even bring that back this way a little bit more to kind of give it that feel. Because ideally, we're stretching this way and then we're pinching this way. It's like a squash and stretch with the way the body's figured out. So hopefully this is, you know, nice little how-to. And then again, everything is our little cylinders. Like if I go like this, it should all ideally be in place. And of course, I still gotta do the rest of the face and all that good stuff. And since the hand's way back here, you don't have to render it out as much. Because it's kind of hidden. You see our line of actions that way, and then our other line of actions this way. And this looks definitely starting to float to the back. Because in a sense, she's coming at us. I probably didn't give it that exact same force, but we'll get there. Little crazy power thigh. And Michael definitely rounded it off a little bit more here. So it's like that. But again, we have our line of action. We have all the pieces connecting to each other. The idea of the stretch and then the squash, how gravity affects this area because of the squash and stretch. And if they're coming at us, then there's going to be force pulling them slightly differently. So let's get this. Actually, I'm going to go back to this layer now. Get my blue. Let's try to add some facial features. Make sure it's kind of balanced. Let me see. Let me flip my canvas. How does it look? Looking pretty balanced? What do you guys think? And ideally, I believe there isn't much of a neck because her head's like down here. Like so. So if I go back to this layer, get rid of these lines. That line there. And then work on the facial structure. So let's adjust these lines. Round off that head a little bit more. Ideally, these guys, when I draw them out, it's the cheekbones, right? So they should match up down here at the bottom. Zoom in. And ideally, the eyes want to match up here. Definitely not liking that eye. But let me switch the eraser to my fat pencil. And she is Aspen Matthews. The hair's always kind of got to have that wet look because she's got like a water ability, kind of Aquaman-ish. But again, not at the same time. She could be Atlantean. So let's switch back. Let's go back to black. Let's add in our little features. And since I'm zoomed in, I'm going to adjust the brush size so it's not as potent. And of course, as I press harder, it gets darker. Give it a round edge. Get my eraser, clean that off. Like so. Soft edge this way. Only time I ever give like a seriously sharp edge is if I'm drawing a dude. Because they're supposed to be like ideally more chiseled, right? And reality is, if I came in here, did the cheekbones, because there's a smile. The more lines I add, the older the individual starts to look. So think about that with what you're working on, what you're referencing. Yeah, I'm not liking that eye. Alright, let's flip my canvas again. So, yeah, you see? It's a good thing I did that. The eyes aren't straight, so I gotta come kind of this way. And it's probably huge compared to the other one. Like so. Of course, we all have different ways of doing this. Eyes are still bothering me, but I'll come back to them later. A little finer edge. Like so. Yeah, I'll come back to it later. This is all demo. Like so. That one's a little overkill. And of course, we got the hair everywhere. Like that. Come in and darken it. Now we gotta talk clothing, right? So I'll just color it in quickly. I slightly altered it. It's okay. If I leave it this small, never mind, I didn't do anything. So I got the hand. Some darkness, I could do the ones in the back. Like so. Double tap for my undos on the screen. So, like I said earlier, hopefully you guys are enjoying what's going on here and keep it still streaming with me. If I get quiet, it's because I get in the zone and I'm focusing, man. I'm focusing. But I figured I'd take you guys through this all, show you guys the process, give you guys the how-tos. It's kind of a sort of random doodle. It's not uberly random, but you know, it is what it is. If I go back to this layer, drop it down some more, increase it, you guys can see the full creation of everything. Hey, what's going on? So I'm gonna drop it back down. And then there you have it. The how-to, the whole breakdown, the whole put together, how it all works. Hopefully you've enjoyed what we've seen today. I've kept you on for about 30 minutes. Hopefully it wasn't 30 minutes too long. But, you know, thank you guys. You know, if you want to find out more about me, if you're on Twitch, scroll down. You guys can see that I have 2 online shops. I have an Instagram. You guys can follow me on to see my artwork. I usually post the time lapses of what I did on the how-to on the stream back on Instagram. And of course, IGTV now. If you're on YouTube, turn on those notifications. Again, you can click the links on my profile and find out more information about myself, where you can actually buy my artwork and original pieces and apparel pieces. So to those of you on Periscope, what it do? You know, Periscope is the same name as my Twitter name, so and my Instagram name, so it'll connect you either way. Usually the link on my bio will take you to my shops. But this is the Art of Pilo, JP, P to the L to the O, Juan Pablo, if I want to go in Spanish. Saying thank you guys for streaming today. Remember, tell a friend, especially tell mom and dad that you're learning some cool stuff on the internet today. Not just straight up on YouTube, but we doing what we do live all the way Tuesdays and Thursdays right here, noonish time, same bad channel. So again, to all of those of you that are joining me today, thank you for streaming. Hopefully you enjoyed this. Leave a comment if you can. Comment below like, yo, that was pretty dope. Can you show us how to do this next time? Can you draw this character for us? You know, I'm open to suggestions, and I might even shout you out. I was going to tackle the idea of maybe Thanos today, but then this hit me because I remember this happened this week. And Thanos was suggested by one of my Twitter followers, Pro Montreal. I did a project with him, a little voiceover, last summer. But again, thank you guys for streaming. I'm going to cut it out right now. I'm going to do what